All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's going well. We are joined today with Socks. She's here. She's staring at the screen. She's wondering what's happening. All right, let's just jump straight into it. We are still continuing on with the API functionality and so forth like that. I'm just turning down the music on my side. Alright, so I'm going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up NearBeach. I'm going to open up the backend. So NearBeach again, we're going into the views, the API. So I've finished off the customer one. I've just realized I did all that and I haven't pulled locally. All right, cool. So I've done the customer, easy done. I did a little bit yesterday. It didn't take me too long to actually complete the customer, which was nice. I figured out why things were going wrong and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, that's all done. What we're going to do today is we're actually going to look at the available data. We're going to go through the available data and then maybe the object data and apply some changes to those two. Currently, we're sitting at 5 out of 20 endpoints done, so I'm getting pretty excited. When we're getting closer and closer to the 20 out of 20, I should set up the Swagger documentation process, so any sort of changes that I do automatically go and onto the documentation and stuff like that. So, what do we want to do? Let's do the customer list API. I'm just going to close other tabs. We're on here. We're all happy with this. We've already started extending the schema and so forth like that. We just need to enter a description. And I've just got to double check this code to make sure it makes sense. So it's just a list. So let's jump in to the API. We've got a couple of conflicts. Discard. I'll just close all tabs, minimize that, object data, team leader. So this will be customer list API view. Oh, actually, no, this will be available data. Sorry, my bad. Available data, open that up. Customer list. So we've got the destination location. This actually has changed now. Yeah. You okay? Oh, sorry, just an alert has come through. All right. So in here, what we've got is serializer, destination, serializer. Yep, easy. Oh, sorry. Customer list serializer. I'm pretty sure we changed this at one particular point. Let's have a look at the URLs. Sorry, wrong URLs. Let's have a look at the URLs API. So this would be for the customer list API. Oh yeah, available data customer list. All right, yep. And then we send, yeah. All right, the destination serializer, which is just the destination location. So for example, it might be a project 2. In this sort of case, we're doing project 1. So if I go send here, we should get an error because I haven't actually started up the server. All right, cool, there we go. We've got a 403 forbidden, invalid token. It just means we've got to update our tokens. Not a problem. We just jump into here. We go localhost, admin. We should still be logged in. We go up to our tokens. We then go to our team leader. And we're going to copy this and paste it over here. Now, we've just hit add time on Twitch. So give me a couple of seconds. There we go. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch so no one gets pre-rolled ads, preload ads, because they suck. So yeah, and what we do is we do this screen so no one misses out on any content. Alright, so Just quickly solving this cube. Easy done. Perfect. All right, and Socks is still here. She's like, hey. So yeah, we've got about 30 seconds left of the ads. So not too far away. We'll show it Socks and give her a couple of pats. Yeah. All right. About 10 more seconds. You gonna look at the camera? Yeah. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone. All right, so we've got a serializer, deserializer. Oops. There we go. Serializer, deserializer in there. So we're only sending back the what we need. In here, we've got method not allowed. Oh. Okay. That's new. Oh, it's just a get. Yeah. We just got to get destination location ID. Oh. We've got them there. As form data. Okay. I'm just going to put a breakpoint there. We're just going to hit this and we're going to hit send again. We're going here. We've got request. We're going to open up request. We're going to open up data. Oh. We've got the data here. We're using query parameters. No, that's incorrect. All right, I'm going to hit play knowing that this will fail, and I'll just hit send again. We're going to move there we go. All right, cool. So yeah, we just had something different in there. We fixed that up, easy done. It was just a bug, and as you can see, we've got customer list, and it gives you the customer list for the project 1. I will say, yeah, that should be correct. So we make sure that serializer isn't done. We're getting rid of that. We're getting rid of that. That's all fine. That's stock standard code at the top of every single one. We get the destination and the location ID out there. That's just flat packing it, because instead of having to write this dozens and dozens of times down here, we just cheat and just do that. We're checking to make sure the destination isn't in any of these particular ones. If they are, we're like, all right, cool. Current destination does not have any customer associated with it, and we send back a 404. So requirement items don't have any customers assigned to them. Sorry, no. Requirements and requirement items do have customers assigned to them. Projects and tasks also do. Kanban boards don't, sprints don't, and stuff like that. So what we're doing is, if the destination is not in one of these, then we're just sending back being like, current destination doesn't have any customers associated with it. And that's fine. Then once we do that, we've got an object dictionary, which is just up here. Just a simple object dictionary. And we are... Socks, you can't just go to bed and then run out here when I move the camera. Come on. There we go. Say hi to everyone. And then we get the... Yeah, we pull out a query set. We make sure that that the ID exists. If it doesn't, we get a 404. Easy done. So if I go into here and let's say I do a 10, we should get a 404 not found. Easy done. If destination equals requirement item, we actually get the, we change the object result to its parent, and then we get the organization ID from there, and then because of that, we can then send back the serialization and so forth like that. And that's the smallest we can actually get this particular function. I think this is working perfectly fine. This is, it just needs a description. And we can call it a day for that one. Alright, you can go back in your bed. So destination, or description, sorry, not destination. I don't know why I thought of that. This is where I'm going to go and put a comma there, of course. This is where I'm going to quickly jump into here because we've got something with an emoji. I just want to keep that sort of going through the whole entire thing. So description gathers a list of customers that can be assigned to that object. Parameters, and we've got this for parameters. We've got destination, the object of choice. Choices are, and we're just going to go requirement item, project, and task, and then location ID. Location ID, the ID of the object. That's pretty much it. Pretty easy. And this one's done. So we've just done another API improvement. Let's move on to the sprints list API. Oh, that's another thing. That one should be under available data. Oh yeah, we're doing this. Available data, and then do that. And it'll be the customer list. So I'll show what this looks like in a minute. Yeah, that should be that. And then we've got the sprint list API. See if we need to implement permissions. Oh, that's a good question. With the customer list, everyone will be perfectly fine, but with the sprints, we might need to implement permissions depending on what the object is. So, how would I do that? I'm going to leave that to do in there for a little bit longer. But we'll definitely need to do something. Anyway, I am going to raise the desk. I've been sitting for most of the day. It's driving me nuts. All right. Oh. I'm going to also move this mat closer because I got myself a standing mat type of thing. It's pretty big. All right. Now, this is just doing one thing. This is just listing stuff. Object assignment results. That's just getting what the user has access to. All right. Because these are assigned to a group, even if they have 0 on something, they should still be able to see it. So, but they won't be able to do anything with it. Yeah, I don't think we need that because we're actually doing this in already. We're checking the permissions and so forth like that. So project ID, requirement ID is null, false, all that. Yep. Making sure that the user has access to the sprints. Sprint, we then get the data, we serialize it. Yeah, this is a very small one. So I am just going to yank this. Oh, actually. We're going to do that. Yep, there we go. We'll fix these up in a second. So this will be available data. I want to copy the same sort of thing down there. So we're just going to do that. Oh God, I don't know why I do one YY and then modifies everything. What we want to do, sprint list. Okay. So description presents a list of all sprints user has access to. Okay, parameters. I think it's using the same parameters. Oops. We've got project ID. No parameters. All right, we just get rid of all of this section. The request will have none of that. And the response will be this. And there we go, that's done. Ooh, careful socks. In fact, what I like to do, data equals this, and then status equals status dot. That will be 200, okay. Done. All right. I like to be very verbose here. Because I know in some sort of certain cases, I actually want to send back a 201 or 203 or something like that. It's still in the 200s. But looking at the code, if you don't have that line in there, you could cause a little issue. Okay, it's just one of those sort of nagging things I just do. All right, response 200. Yep. All right, that should be done. Now we move on to the tag list. So straight off the bat, I am going to do that. And then what we want to do is we want a simple tag list like that. We've got the serializer and all that kind of stuff. It's literally just going to be the same as this. So we're just going to copy this. We're going to go into here. We're just going to hit our I. We're just going to paste it in like that. We're happy. And then description, present a list of all tags to the user. We're not actually using that serializer, we're using the tag list serializer. Down here, once again, we're just going to go data equals, do something like that, and then we're going to go status equals status. We don't have it, so up here we just go status, easy done. 200, okay. And that's it. Those three were done very quickly. I'm quite happy with that. What I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to click over in here. We're just going to go source VM bin activate. There we go. Finally got it. We are also going to go into the Django DRF spectacular in here. We're just going to do this and taking it for a spin. We're purposely doing it like this for a moment. Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, I need to do that. And then, oop. Error response, pull access denied, repository doesn't exist. Is Docker running? I'm just gonna hit play. That's weird. All right. I don't know why this is happening. And AMC Repair, welcome, welcome. I do hope you're going well. So I just saw your comment as I'm pondering why my Docker ain't dockering. Because that is just quite literally a copy of that. Unless I didn't copy all of it. That's why. How silly of me. There we go. That was it. Something simple, something easy. So we got it up and running, and now we go localhost 8080. And as you can see, we've got stuff sort of working. This will all be grouped properly in the near future. Now we're having a look at this. We've got the get, but the posts. Oh, that's object group. All right, post makes sense for these particular ones. Delete makes sense for these particular ones. As you see, we've already kind of gone through and improved these somewhat. However, tonight I'll go through a lot more. So that brings us up to the API fixes of 8 out of 20, which is great. We wanted available data, and there it is. There's the new 3. So we've got the parameters, destination, requirement, so it just tells the user what's going to happen. We're going to remove the try it out. Must be a card door. Yeah, we'll eventually get that. Sprint lists, yeah, we'll... Description, present a list of all sprints user has access to. I mean, that's pretty much all that is for that particular description. And the tag list, present all tags to the user. So yeah, pretty easy to do. Hi 5 AM, how are you? I'm Robotic Head. Sorry, terrible joke, terrible joke, but I love it. How you, Zux? So, yeah, welcome. It is nearly 7 PM here, so I'm guessing you're really Americans. I'm guessing East Coast time. Getting better at coding? That's great to hear, so am I. Slowly. Yeah, oh wait, oh, what's happened here? Time in New York, there we go, 5 AM. I'm getting better at time zones. Alright, so I'm happy with those 3 bits of data. We've done 8. I've got on my whiteboard. Hang on. I'll go to the screen. I'll turn this around. You guys can't see it. All right, it's not worth it. I've got a 5 on there. I'm just going to change it to an 8. I'm not going far, just because this little thing is driving me. So 8 out of 20. Which is awesome news. It means that I could probably get halfway, hopefully tonight, and then yeah, hopefully this time next week we'll be done with the API, and then I can move on to doing other things too. So yeah, and then get feedback for the API improvements. All right, getting back into this, I'm just going to close all these tabs. We are going to open up group and user API. So we're scrolling all the way up to the top. we instantly notice that we don't have any descriptions or anything like that. So that must have been groups and users. Oh, okay, yeah, it's some of them. Okay, cool. No, I've made a mistake. I should have been paying more attention. The underscore out the front of these functions just mean this is an internal function, not to use anywhere else. The fact that this is saying make method standard. Yeah, that's fine. It's not standard, static. It's because we're not using any reference to the self, so yeah, we'll make method static. That's perfectly fine. So going down, we've got too many lines here. That's what that is complaining. Do you know who is Michael Deeming? No. Sorry, I don't know that person. All right, this endpoint allows you to either add user group. All right, cool. So the description's perfectly fine. In here, we've got the create, we've got the serializer, we've got the basic sort of stuff that we have at the top of each of these functions. We then flat pack a bunch of stuff out and then loop through all the groups and add to the current object. So we're currently doing that. Oh, okay. This one's a bit different. Alright, so we do a bunch of different small little things. We're not actually editing one tiny thing in this one. So I'm happy to state that we won't be changing any of this, which is great news. To do throughput, look at obtaining the object assignment ID from the database so the users can easily delete both users and groups from the object. All right, that's a 3.2 thing. We're just going to pass over that at the moment. So I'm happy with this particular one. Oops. So I'm trying to stretch. Okay, so we've got the description. We've got an example. We're all happy with that. Destroy. This one will be pretty simple to do. Yeah, we've just got to destroy the destination and location ID. Something, no object assignments has been found. Yep, perfect. Yeah, that one's, we don't need to make the improvements to that. All right. Destination location ID. So, serializer, self.get used groups and user list. In fact, are we doing that in there? So, all right, yep, that's doing that change, and then we return back the results, yep. Okay. We do have a to-do in here, which I do want to clean out. And I'm just wondering what limits we want to put on this. Because we have a destination up there, and we can go, if the destination is either in one of these or not in one of these lists, then we don't want to use it. Alright, I'm just making sure at the very top to see if I've done anything smart. So we've done all of that. Alright, so we've got destination location. This would be groups and users API. So I'm going to close that. And Nocturnal, how are you? Hopefully you're going well. Groups and users API, this is part of the list. So that will be part of this. So groups, project 1, groups and users. All right, that's easy done. I think requirement item. might break. Alright, requirement item. I am going to put a breakpoint on that. I'm just going to hit... Yeah, it doesn't... Alright. Okay. What about sprint? Sprint won't work. You doing okay? Oh, that's good to hear. I'm getting better over this sickness. 5 day. Wait, I got it on Sunday, so today's the 6th day that I've had it. I haven't been this sick for that long. Like, it's amazing. I don't think I've ever been this sick before. So yeah, getting over it. So hopefully tomorrow will be a lot better. I've only had cold and flu tablets once today, which is good. Alright, I'm going to... Alright, so the permission one is because it goes into here, it passes through the quags, gets the destination, it goes into the generic permissions up into here. We're going to have the same problem with the Kanban card. So, Kanban card. You do not have permissions to perform this action. So, yeah, it won't be able to do child permissions. Sprint, however, will pass these permissions on. So, in this sort of case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick look at NearBeach. We're going to go into localhost. We're just going to go find all objects. So RFC change tasks won't work, and RFC shouldn't work. So if I type in request for change, we've reached there. I'm just going to hit play. Well, RFC works. Strangely. Sprint shouldn't. RFC isn't connected to any customer. It's connected to groups and users. Alright, cool. Kanban cards. Yep, alright. So it looks like it's just sprints at the moment. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to be a bit lazy. We've got a 403 forbidden. Done. And that should be fine. Sprint should not work. Forbidden. Alright, done. So this one's all done, groups and users. So I'm now up to 9, which is great. Alright. Now I know there's an ad starting any second now. So, done with that one, done with that one, done with that one. I've got the link API, which object data link. That's an underscore, so we're ignoring that. And then we've got, alright, cool. So, yeah, done 4 tonight, which is nice. I'll be glad once I finish all these API things. Be good to put them down. All right. I'm gonna close that. Oh, ads just started. Okay, cool. Bear with me. Sorry, I just need to go to the bathroom. I am just making sure everyone can see Socks, so she will entertain you whilst I am going to the bathroom. I will be back. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. I will be back. All right, I am back. Thank you for waiting. How are we with the ads? About 5 seconds to go. We might as well bump into this. And welcome back, everyone. All right, cool. Yeah, sorry for those on YouTube. We run ads every half an hour on Twitch. That's just some pre-rolled ads, and essentially we do that to make sure no one misses out on any content. Also, Socks likes to move around. And I now have to do this. Okay, cool. So we've now got the link API to do. If I go over into the Swagger documentation, I'm just going to close that. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close. All right, I'm going to open up this one. So it's object data link. Yes, cool. And then we've got a bunch of little functionality. So we've got a couple of gets. So we've got a get for the list. We've got to put a post to create it. We've got a get for an item. We've got to put for an item. We've got a patch. We're going to have to remove that patch because we actually don't patch in this whatsoever. So that's pretty easy to get rid of. What we need to do is we need to go into the code. And down here, we just have to go HTTP method names equals. We're going to get a get. We're going to have a post. We're going to have a put, and we're going to have a delete. Right, and then over here, we're stopping this process, rerunning that, and then rerunning the Docker. It takes a couple of seconds for the Docker to rerun. And then if we hit refresh, we should see object data, notes, sprint, tags. No link. No, what happened to link? All right, we've broken it. We've got, hang on, it might want these in lowercase. All right. Let's try that again. All right, there we go. Yeah, it just needed to be in lowercase. Easy done. Now that we know that, we're going to try and implement that in the future. Okay, so in here we've got this. We've got the two gets. We've got the post, the put, and the delete, which is perfect. We'll also notice we don't have any descriptions whatsoever, and I don't know what these... we need to actually figure out what data this needs and stuff like that. Yeah. So we are going to use the groups and users as a reference. We're going to paste that over there. We're going to minimize that. We're just going to go through and actually pretty much copy and paste and edit and all that kind of fun stuff. So the first things first, we ignore the get list. We want the create. So over here, we're going to copy this. We're going to paste it in. We're going to go all the way up here and we're just going to do that. All right, cool. We do need these. Yeah, import that. That's fine. All right, so we've got the description. We're going to have to remember what this is. Because I've absolutely and utterly forgotten. So groups and users we're fine with. Link, get link list. So we've got a project and one retrieves. Okay, yep, I remember this now. So to visually show you guys, if we actually go, let's say, to a task, and we scroll down, you'll notice that we've got linked objects. In this particular case, we don't have anything for this. We might go, all right, this project is actually a is parent of this object. Let's say it's actually these two projects, all right? And then we might go in here and be like, all right, that we have a task, and it is actually blocked by this particular task and so forth like that. So a user can come in here and be like, all right, cool. These are all our links. This is what's blocking and so forth like that. So I'll need to fix these up and so forth like that. Now, I've just realized that if you set something as blocked, a fix I might do in the future is if you delete it, you can automatically set it to something else. All right, sorry, I've just thought of this. Give me a couple of seconds. I am gonna put it in a bug. A blocked object has no path to a related object. All right, cool. Method, let's go story. Task 1 is blocked by task 2. When user unblocks that task, go to delete the blocked status. User should be asked if they would like to change the status to is related to, instead of just deleting the relationship. Cool. So yeah, at the moment it's fairly manual. If you were to delete it, I'm going to say this is normal. What you would do is you would delete it and then add it in again. Not ideal whatsoever. Let's see if we can fix this up. There'll be no version for this at the moment, so we'll just create that. Easy done. All right, so going back into this. Oh, we released that the other day. This is fixed. And these are all fixed. All right, and then, yep, all right, cool. My current issues, yep, sweet. We don't have too many, we've got 11 at the moment. Actually, Socks is moving around. You guys can just look at me now. All right. So yeah, this is dealing with those links and changing them and so forth like that. That is something we might actually implement in the API, is to also implement the ability to patch, to put changes in, so that way you can be like, all right, cool, I'm going to make a few of these changes and so forth like that. So yeah. Anyway, I am just solving the cube very, very quickly because I like to get distracted a lot. So description, this is the create. So description. This endpoint allows you to connect, link, I should say, link other objects to the current object. For example, those objects might, and then we're just going down the list in here. They might, I might pick that. They might be related to. They might, is blocked by. Is currently blocking. Is sub-object. Is parent object. Has duplication, has duplicate object of. Is duplicate of. Is duplicated object of. All right, cool. I'm just moving that over there at the moment. And then these objects will be project, requirement, requirement item, task. These objects, the destination, actually no, that's fine, that's parameters, destination, so project, requirement, requirement item, task, location ID is what we want, unique ID, the unique ID of the specific object currently modifying. All right, cool. That's gone. No, to make sure the users did. All right, cool. Those are gone. We'll need to update the examples and so forth like that. And then in the body, so if we were going to go with the post link in the body, all right. This is where I need to actually look at the data. One, two, three, four. All right. Give me a couple of seconds because there's a difference between an emoji list. All right, cool. Let's go URL. All right, website. Globe. All right. URL. And you might wonder, why am I doing this? Why difference? Because in the URL, we have to specify, all right, this is the object that we're actually modifying and so forth like that. And then parameters, we are going to have a look at how I set this up. So we've got the serializer, we've got the link serializer. We're going to go into that link serializer in here. So we've got the object ID, object title, object status, and so forth like that. Project requirement. Ooh, this is something I could potentially clean up. I'm just wondering if I did it this particular way for a reason. And one way to find that out is I just go task to for all of these. We've got all of that like that. I mean, all right, we've got the serializer, link serializer. It's all like this. I feel like this is one I've got to actually probably really fix tonight. Yeah, so I've learned a lot in the last month or two with Django REST framework. I reckon we could fix this up a little bit better. We've just got 4 usages for the link serializer. So if I do change this, I will need to change everything in this particular file. So I'm going to have to actually look to be like, all right, cool. What will happen if I change this? What I also want to do is I want to have it so you'll have the object type and the object ID as calls. So you won't be going, project or this or that. You'll be doing the, yeah. So you get that. And then we deserialize the data for object type in object dictionary up here with the keys. So yeah, I've done it in a particular way. I loop through all of those, but in reality, what I could potentially do is just use one of those. And where's the create? Where are you? Where are you? All right, with the create. Goes through either one of those. Yeah, I wrote this pretty early on. So I'm going to definitely need to rewrite some of this. Refactoring is the word. Okay. Because yeah, if you have a look on the right, we've got the objects down here. Project, requirement, requirement item. I can... Alright. Object relation we'll need. Okay. Destroy's going to be good. And here I thought I could do this easily. So yeah. With the URL, we've got that, The parameters, yeah, I want to move it down into something simplified. So, reading the code, we go through, we flat pack those out, we loop through the results and add them in. Oh, alright. Get list of object type. I don't think this will work. I think this is going to muddle up everything. I think in these sort of cases, we don't want to do it as a big giant group of connections. It should be done one at a time. In which case, I am going to say, I'm going to refactor this code. All right. Just having a quick think. Yeah, I'm going to refactor this code in the sense that object ID and object type. We've got it here, object ID, the reverse relation, all that kind of stuff. the post, we've got relates, we've got the object ID. So we're meant to put in one after the other and so forth in here, but I think that can get mixed up in here. So we've got the single object. Object relates. Okay, so object relates is only for one thing. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And I feel like we can do something better than this. Alright, I'm going to do something better. First, check to make sure we'll have an object type equals serializer.data object type. We're just flat packing these out at the moment. And then we'll have the object ID equals serializer.data and then object ID. Easy done. Then we've got to make sure the object ID exists. So what we need to do is if object type in list of object dictionary.keys, we'll still be using that, but put it not out front. We'll go return response and we'll go data how are we doing it? We'll just do this. Object type not in system. Easy done. And that will be status equals status dot, it'll be a 400 bad request. Easy done. So instead of having doing multiple all at once, we're only going to be doing one at a time. Oh, but the front end does multiple at once. Thing is, I can pick multiple here, and we're going to be replacing this. So we're going to replace the endpoint on this with the API. I mean, I can still do it as a list. That's not going to be a problem. It just means that the object ID will be a list. All right, cool. So, and Zandy, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. We are going to have in here the object type, the object we are currently trying to link. These will be, and then we just do that, and they will be requirement item, project, and task. Then the object ID, a list of IDs for the objects we are currently trying to link. Of type. We are currently yeah, alright, cool. And then we'll have the object relation. The type of connection we are aiming for. And then this, so I've just got to look over here. Link relation, no. Object relation. All right. Okay. If object relation in relates blocking parent of has duplicate. And Garish Sada, welcome or good morning. I hope you're going well. As I'm trying to remember a lot of this. So we've got submit object, parent link will equal the destination. All right, cool. Otherwise, if it isn't any of those, we double check to be like, all right, cool. If the destination equals object type, we've got a meta, and that will be the parent link. Otherwise, parent link will be the object type. Yeah. Oh, relation dictionary. All right, cool. It's in here. I could just reference that, being like, hey, if that isn't in here, we don't have any of that. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's copy that. Let's scroll down to where we need it. I'm just pasting these in. Tell you what, this is going to be quicker if I do it like this. Easy. Okay, cool. So now that we've got that, what's the ID you're using? So I'm using PyCharm. Yep, PyCharm. However, just a little further information, I am using the, not open source, JetBrains. I get it free because of the open source license. So yeah, just for your information, because NearBeach is open source, yeah, I get it for free. Just for NearBeach though. And any other open source sort of stuff I do. So yeah. How are you going? Hopefully you're going well. All right, so I'm just going to add in here. So we've done that. I'm happy with that. I need to do this enum over in here. So we're actually going to do that. We're going to go Django REST framework enum. I know we've done enums before. In fact, I'm trying to remember where I did enums. Was it Kanban card or Kanban board? All good, just started with the work. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. I finished 2 hours ago, so yeah. Alright, enums. That would actually be part of the serializers. So I'm just going to open up the serializer. I keep forgetting if it's Kanban card or board I did this for. I know I was, I know I had a look at it. Actually, in fact, it might be something else. Status, choice field. Alright, we just did that. What enums did I do? Oh, it's going good, thank you very much. Yeah, just... I'm in the, essentially the rundown at the moment, so... I'm trying to sprint for the finish line, which this finish line's in hopefully late August, early September. I just want to wrap things up for NearBeach, getting ready for the 0.32 development cycle. Which will involve most likely a couple of breaking changes. So yeah, I want to get this as stable as possible. So we got a good foundation, and I just want to get the API sort of fixed up, so everyone's happy with it. So when I do port it over to the new version and stuff like that, I won't have any problems. Because the last thing I want to do is release an API and then have to patch it and be like, oh, okay, sorry guys, I need to do this. Alright, we've got an ad break at the moment. So for those on YouTube, what actually happens is we run ads on Twitch every half an hour to stop people getting pre-rolled ads. So no one misses out on any content. We do this. Don't worry, you guys don't get any ads. So yeah, you get to see me solve a cube and get to say hi to Socks, who's just sitting there being like, what's happening? So yeah. But yeah, I'm getting stuff done, which is good. A lot of this is very sort of boring. A bit of refactoring, which is like what we're doing right now. So yeah, so that's a lot better. Yeah, I'm just hoping to get this out the bloody door. It will be nice. Alright, so this is going to be like this, and then this is like this, and this is like this, and there you go. Alright, solved cube. I've got about 20 seconds left, so yeah. And it's Friday, so yay! Hopefully, I'll get my house a bit cleaned. Yeah, thank you. It's a bit difficult to get things done at times when it's tight schedule. Yeah. I'm just making sure. All right, cool. Welcome back, everyone. I'm making sure I do put that schedule on me. Because if I have it there, and I know I've got a couple of goals to sort of achieve and stuff like that, it will help me push myself doing the boring tasks. Like the documentation. I know NearBeach needs a lot of documentation at the moment, and I just need to sit down and essentially do it. So yeah, so that when people actually use NearBeach, they can understand NearBeach. Alright, we have some redeemed treats for Socks. I think she was a little bit disappointed before because the camera came down and she didn't get any treats, and she's like, oh, what is this? Alright, we're going to go to the secret screen. We are giving Socks some treats. For those on YouTube, on Twitch, we have a redemption where you can give Socks, my cat, some treats. And Max, who came running in there. There, good boy. Oh, I've got to buy myself a mount for the monitors before tax time's over. Alright. Doing this cube very quickly. Good girl, Socks. Yeah, she ate all of the treats. Let's get back into it. You guys can see Socks is there. Pip wants to know what the temperature is. Apparently, 18 degrees in this room. I don't think so. I think I need a new from the monitor. Let's go Melbourne weather. 7 degrees Celsius. And it's going to hit 5 degrees Celsius. So I might sleep in the living room tonight and put the heater on. So, yeah. That is cold. For those that use Freedom units, that's 44 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to get down to 41 tonight. So, yeah. I'm just now trying to think all of my chilies. Oh, they'll survive. The ones outside. The little seedlings are inside. Alright, cool. So it's cold. Very, very cold. Alright, I'm going to exit out of that. Now, I know recently I did utilities and I've got enums and I've got object priorities and I do use them everywhere now. So I should be able... Sorry. I should be able to find Kanban card serializer. There it goes. So Kanban card... Alright. With enums, we are slowly moving them over into a new process where we've got utilities and we just call them up there and so forth like that. These are new functionalities that happened a couple of releases ago, but I think we didn't do them right away because we're still supporting older versions, and I think now that they've unsupported. I guess they removed all the colors from there, that's fine. Now that we're on 4.2 and stuff like that, and it's definitely supported as the lowest one that we're supporting at the moment, it's best for me to go ahead and do these, but it's one at a time. So when I find an enum, I'm slowly moving them. So in this sort of case with the link sort of stuff, we scrolling all the way up, we have a dictionary here. No, the dictionary is fine. We have the related dictionary. So I'm just having a think how this is all connected again. So the last thing I want to do is refactor this, because I don't think I have any unit tests to actually make sure I don't screw up. And yeah, make sure this works. Alright, now I remember how the enums are done. It's an enum field. We kind of want to do the same thing. If we have a look at the enums, we've got it like this, which is perfectly fine. And then in here, we've got duplicate objects, has duplicate, but we're sending back that. Alright. Okay. Now I remember how all of this works. All right, so let's actually visually show this. So source VM bin activate. Let's go Python 3 manage shell. Let's go in here. Let's add all of this in here like that. So if we've got relation dictionary now, and we open, I think it's a square bracket, and we open it up, and we're like, all right, cool, relates. We get relate. If we go relation dictionary, and now we like has a duplicate. In here, it'll have duplicate. However, at the same time, if we want duplicate object, it'll just say, it'll also key out duplicate. So in the database, we actually only have relate, block, subobject, and duplicate in. We have a flip switch in there in the form of, all right, Socks has run away. You get to see me again. So you've got a flip switch type of situation. So this is the create. You go all the way down here. You loop through all of that. Essentially what you're doing is like, hey, if any of these objects are in here, the parent link, so if it's related or blocking or parent of or has duplicates, so if we go in here, parent object relates blocking parent of or has duplicate. So relates parent of has duplicate and blocking. We put the current parent item in there, current destination in there. Else, what we do is we check to see if the destination object type are the same. If they are, we flag it as a meta object. If it isn't, then we flag the object type. So yeah, it's a bit complicated and definitely needs code and comments in there to remind me how this actually works again. But we can get away with an enum here, which will be nice. All right. Alright, so object dictionary.keys, object dictionary, yeah, alright, cool. So we definitely want an enum. So if we go back to the serializer, so link serializers, I do apologize, this is all the way over there. I should bring this over here. We are actually wanting to get rid of a few things in here. So object relation, we want to keep in, but that's going to be an enum. All right, so I'm going to put change to enum. Easy done, and we'll set that up in a second. Task, we won't need anymore. Reverse relation, that's actually used on the front end. So, that's used over here. So if we go into this in here, reverse relation equals true. That just means that if it's block up here, it just now means that the parent one is the other one. Easy done. Requirement and requirement item, we're going to remove those, and we're removing project. Okay. Parent link, read only, read only, read only. We're not worried about any of these read onlys. We've got the get fields. Now this is a serializer. We're not doing this on a model or anything like that. So I don't think I need the class. Anyway, meta in here. But change task. I don't know where change task is used. And we might change these around. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm just playing with the cube again. As I think about this. One thing I've been doing is usually a lot of cases I've been putting this in alphabetical order, and I like keeping it in alphabetical order because it's easier for me to find stuff. Now the get fields, that's all fine. That is here. We want to go class meta. I don't think there is a class meta, and then we have fields in here, and then we just key in these fields in an appropriate order, I think. Now the change task, it's not needed because we're not filling it out. Change task is not needed. This is another one where we've got linked objects and so forth like that. I'm pretty sure we don't need. So I'm just going to delete that. That's a child object of request for change. So we've got link, relationship, and so forth like that. So going in here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this. We're going to go over here. We're just going to go in here. We're going to paste it in like this. We're just going to bump things. All right, cool. It doesn't like that. We are just going to do all of this. All right, like so. And then I can just move things around in here. Easy done. So, having a look at the data, we want object assignment ID at the top. Easy. That's the ID of this particular connection. We then want probably object ID, then object type. Actually, we probably want the object type first, then the ID. So project 1. I'm just going to hit refresh. All right, that didn't actually change anything of the order of this, which is a bit disappointing. Yeah, might not. Okay, not a problem. Worst case, I have to change the order of this, which don't want to do, but yeah. To change the order, you'll need to change the field definitions of the serializer. All right, I'm doing that. I've got fields. Okay, cool. Waiting a little while, just going to hit refresh until this happens. There we go. So we've got link. Yeah, we might need meta and object up here. They've got it as a like that, which